Today, I want to talk to you guys about how my health, my relationships, and my self-confidence has all skyrocketed since healing my relationship with food and truly stepping into this unstoppable, badass version of myself. So, the first thing that I want to say is there is actually a difference between somebody who is a badass and somebody who is, oh, you can't hear my voice? Oh, my Bluetooth was on. Hold on. Okay, I think we should be good now. Thank you, Maggie. So, there is a difference between somebody who's a badass and somebody who is an unstoppable badass. When you are this badass, right? Your health, your relationships, your confidence is pretty good, right? You're most likely already been healing your relationship with food. You have been really trying hard to not give in to your urges. You've been really trying hard to be more intuitive with your body, really figuring out what foods work best for your body, maybe what foods don't sit well with your body. And you have been putting in the work to heal your relationship with food, but you can't 100% confidently say, I am binge free. You can't confidently say that I am an effortless intuitive eater. There was a point in my journey where things were starting to get better for me. I was healing my relationship with food, and I've deleted my fitness pal. I was no longer tracking my food. I was eating intuitively, and I was having less binges. I was able to process my emotions without self-soothing with food. Things were going good, but I didn't feel 100% that I was binge free yet. I couldn't confidently say, like, yeah, food actually feels effortless for me because there was still like sneaky food thoughts in the back of my head. And so I needed to, I needed to step into this unstoppable, badass version of myself that knew deep down that that was possible for me. I needed to remind myself deep down that I get to live a life where food is never on my mind. I needed to remind myself that there was actually a world where food actually felt effortless. It was actually really easy to stop eating when I was full. And once I really shifted my identity into this unstoppable badass, I started recognizing that, you know what? It actually didn't matter how long I was struggling with binge eating for. It actually did not matter if I had a hard time on my journey where it was like binge after binge after binge. It didn't matter if I would go a week or a month without binging. I knew deep down that I needed to become an unstoppable badass who never binges. And this could be your reality as well too, because I went from having, binge free days, binge free weeks, even binge free months into being over 4 years completely binge free, no urges to binge. And as a result, now I'm able to focus on my gut health. I'm able to focus on my hormones. I'm able to focus very highly on gentle nutrition and really turning up the dial on my health and my nutrition. And I can do this in a way where I don't feel restricted. What I hear from a lot of people after they've been healing their relationship with food, they're like, okay, like I haven't binged for a while. Like I'm feeling pretty good with my relationship with food. I have been working on my relationship with food and I want to make better choices. I want to, turn up the dial on my health and my nutrition, but I don't want to feel restricted. I don't want to feel restricted. There's a comment here. I hope you've helped me on my worst days. Appreciate everything you do. Well, that's a very nice comment. Thank you. I'm so glad. So I said to myself, listen, I don't want to just have a good relationship with food. I want to have a relationship with food that feels effortless. I want to become the healthiest person that I know. I don't want to just not binge. Like, I want to truly live until I'm like 100 years old. Like, I want to have high energy every single day. I want to be able to eat whatever I want without bloating. I want to feel amazing in my own skin. And I needed to see myself in a different way. Instead of just seeing myself as this badass who, yeah, has a good relationship with food, I'm like, no, I'm this unstoppable badass. And I can take really good care of myself and my health without feeling deprived. Like, you guys, you get to feel so freaking good. You get to feel so freaking good. You get to feel, I'm going to say this again. You get to feel so good in your own skin. You get to have high energy every single day. You get to have nourishing meals that makes you feel so good without feeling deprived. But you have to really shift your identity from this badass who lives a good life to becoming this unstoppable badass where you feel incredible. Drop a me in the chat if you're like, I want to feel freaking incredible. Drop a me in the chat if you're like, yes, I want to feel incredible. I don't want to just have a good relationship with food. Like, I want food to feel so effortless. Yes, 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 yes. So that's the relationship with food aspect. That's the health aspect. But then we have relationships. So I've always had a really incredible relationship with my husband. But obviously, when you are kind of lacking confidence, I wasn't very confident in who I was. And I didn't want to be intimate sometimes. And it would be hard for me to even express what I needed. Like, it was hard for me to communicate what I needed. Or if something was bothering me, I would kind of just like hold it in. And this is where the emotional eating comes into play. And so for me to step into this, from this badass to becoming an unstoppable badass, I needed to learn how to better communicate with my husband. I needed to learn how to be able to communicate what I effectively wanted. I needed to actually feel safe to be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling right now. Or can you do this for me? Or this would be really important if you were to do this for me. Andrew and I started having, deeper levels of conversations. I started becoming more vulnerable. I started setting boundaries in my relationships. I started being mindful of who I was surrounding myself with. That's what took me from being a badass to becoming an unstoppable badass. Better communication skills, better boundaries, actually feeling safe to express what I needed, being vulnerable in conversations. This is so important because your relationships, like, I don't know about you, but I've always wanted really good relationships in my life. I wanted really good relationships in my life. I didn't want to have a good relationship with Andrew. I wanted an incredible relationship with Andrew where we felt like we were like these life partners. Like, we used to have dinner conversations and it was like, I can't even remember some of the conversations that we have, but now it's like we talk about growth. We talk about, how can we better ourselves? And that's because when you step into this unstoppable badass version of yourself, you're always looking for different ways to grow and to evolve. You're always looking for, how can I better my life, my health, my relationships, my confidence? So now when we go out for dinner, we talk about what we're grateful for. We talk about, How can we better our relationship? How can we better our health? What can we do to improve? Like, we're constantly having these conversations. So my relationships have deeply improved in my life as a result of me stepping into this unstoppable badass version of myself. So that was health, relationships, and confidence. Okay, you guys, I'm just gonna straight up say this. I used to be not confident at all. I used to care so much about what other people think about me. I used to be afraid to show up as my true self because are people going to judge me? What if people don't like this side of me? And that shrinks you. When you don't feel confident to actually show up as your true self, you're constantly so worried about what other people think about you. You are constantly so worried about, am I good enough? You doubt yourself. You second guess yourself. You compare yourself. Oh, she's better at this than me. Am I good enough? But I don't look like her. Oh, she's more talented than me. Oh, maybe she can feel really good in her own skin, but maybe I can't. Man, she's so confident. Okay, well, maybe I'm confident in this one area, but I'm not confident in this area. Becoming an unstoppable badass is feeling confident in every single area of your life, your relationships, your career, your health, and who you actually are. When you're so confident in who you are, you don't compare yourself to anyone because you're like, I am so unique. I am so valuable. There is no competition. She can look good and I can look good. She can have an amazing job. I can have an amazing job. She can have a great life. I can have a great life. These are her amazing skills and these are my amazing skills. When you are so confident in who you are, you don't compare yourself to other people. You don't compare yourself to other people because you're like, I'm so special. I'm so unique. I used to very much compare myself to other people and put myself down and say, well, she can do it better than you. That does not grow your confidence. That makes you feel like shit. That makes you feel horrible. Oh, she's better than me. She has better body than me. She has better skills than me. She can do things better than me. She's smarter. She's prettier. She's this, she's that, she's whatever. And when you're comparing yourself, you're judging yourself, you're putting yourself down, and you're not stepping into the unstoppable badass version of yourself. So for me, going from being a badass to being an unstoppable badass with my confidence was I needed to see myself as so valuable. I needed to recognize that I was such a special human being and that there's certain gifts that I have to offer the world that other people don't have. And it's not like, oh, I'm better than other people. It's like, no, she's incredible, but I'm also incredible. She's really good at this. And you know what? I'm also really good at this. And so when you do that, it's like, number one, you don't compare yourself. Number two, you don't talk bad about yourself. You don't doubt yourself. And also, number three is you're not worried about you're not worried about what does she think about you. You're like, do I like me? At the end of the day, do you love who you are? Do you feel safe to fully express yourself? Someone who is an unstoppable badass shows up so authentically as their true self. I've turned up the dial on who I am as a person, my loudness, my boldness, my passion. Like, I'm so freaking passionate about what I do. And the things that I'm really good at, I own it. And the things that maybe I'm not so good at, that's okay. I don't put myself down. This is somebody who is confident. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you own who you are, and you show up unapologetically as yourself. You don't you don't doubt yourself, you don't put yourself down, you rise yourself up. You see yourself as so valuable. You know, I was talking to one of my clients and I said, like, you have to walk around and be like, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Like, I am so valuable. Like, you are lucky to spend time with me. You are lucky to have me at this job. You are lucky to have me as a friend. Like, you got to see yourself as so freaking valuable. So, when I transitioned from being a badass, because I know you're all a badass, but only select few people will really step into this unstoppable badass version of themselves. And the way that you get there is, again, number one, when it comes to health, is seeing yourself like you can have it all. The high energy, feeling incredible in your own skin, the effortless relationship with food. When it comes to your relationships, it's having better communication skills, better boundaries, actually expressing yourself in the way that you want to express yourself. And then when it comes to confidence, seeing yourself as the most valuable human being. No more comparison, no more doubting yourself, no more putting yourself down. It's like, do you know who I am? I am so valuable. And again, right now, you live a good life and you are a badass. I know you are. You've been healing your relationship with food. You do have good relationships in your life. You are starting to feel confident, but there's a next level. You're not 100% fully confident yet. You're not fully confident to say, I'm free from binge eating. I have an easy, effortless relationship with food. And you can't 100% yet confidently say that I have the most epic relationships in my life. And so I'm here to help you step into this unstoppable badass version of yourself. And this is why I'm hosting the Unstoppable Badass event in person in Florida at the end of March, because I want you to have it all. I truly want you to have the most easy, effortless relationship with food. I want you to become the healthiest person that you know. I want you to have the most amazing relationships in your life where you can express yourself. You have strong boundaries. You're surrounded by people who inspire you, who lift you up. I want you to feel confident in every single area of your life. I don't want you to doubt yourself. I don't want you to second guess yourself. Like, I want you to walk into a room and you own it. You are so confident. You are so unapologetically you. This is what I do. And you get to experience this as well too. So the Unstoppable Badass event, we're going to be focusing on these three core pillars: your health, your relationships, your self-confidence. It is going to be incredible. There are people flying from all around the world. And if you know that you are somebody who really values your health, your relationships, and your confidence at a very high level, you don't play small in your life. You're ready to grow. You're ready to step out of your comfort zone. You're truly wanting it all. Like, you don't want to just have a good life. You want an extraordinary life. You don't want to just be a badass. You want to be an unstoppable badass. You need to come to this event in person in Florida at the end of March, March 29th and March 30th. So if you would like to come to this event and you would like all the details for the event, you can message me Unstoppable. Message me Unstoppable, and I will send you all the details for this epic 2-day in-person event in Florida. And something that happens when you purchase your ticket, there's a complete identity shift right there. It's like, I'm not just a badass. Boom, I got my ticket. I am stepping out of my comfort zone. I'm this unstoppable badass. One client, one client is flying from the UK. And she's like, as soon as I purchased my ticket, she's like, I felt the shift. She's like, I literally felt so unstoppable in that moment. She's like, I'm doing something so big for myself. She's like, this is a big deal. She's flying from the UK. And she's already having a massive identity shift. Why? Because when you do something like this for yourself, you make a big move that most people won't make, but you make it because you're ready to live the greatest life ever. There's an identity shift. You start actually feeling more confident. The people who lack confidence, just honestly, they don't make really big moves. But that's not you. You make big moves. You step out of your comfort zone. You do the scary things. I talked a lot about when I first attended my first in-person event in 2018, I was terrified. I was literally so scared. I'm like, I probably should not go. But I'm like, no, if I want to become confident, I can't stay at home and just hide behind a Zoom screen. It's like, no, I actually need to get in the room. I need to get in the room. I need to step out of my comfort zone. So, of course, I'm going to be in person. It's about making those big, badass moves. That's how you become an unstoppable badass. You don't play small anymore. You don't want to just live up, you don't want to just watch other people have it all, the great health, the great relationships, the confidence. You're like, no, that could be me. And the only decision, the only thing that's actually holding you back from having the health that you want, the relationships, the self-confidence is the decision to actually make a big badass move and to get into the room and say, that could be me as well too. The reason I have the health that I do, I conquered binge eating. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I have self-confidence in so many areas of my life. I have an incredible relationship is because I've always said yes to opportunities that expanded me. I get in rooms with other badasses who lift me up, who push me out of my comfort zone, who are also so invested in their growth, in their health, in their relationships, in their confidence. You are who you surround yourself with. And it's so easy to just stay at home in your comfort, in your little comfort zone. But it's only the people who become an unstoppable badass who makes very big moves, who says, you know what, I'm going to make this happen. Like the person flying from the UK, at first she was like, oh no, I'm from the UK, like I can't make it. And then she was like, wait a minute. She's like, no, I'm here to live the most extraordinary life. I am going to find a way to get there. So of course she's coming, and she went VIP. And when you get your VIP ticket, we also have an exclusive dinner together, which is going to be phenomenal. But if you've not yet got your ticket, get your ticket. The moment that you get your ticket, it's like an identity shift. You see yourself in a higher lens. It's like, yes, like I am this badass. I am this unstoppable badass. I don't play small in my life. I care about my life, my health, my relationships, my confidence. This is so important for me. I'm not going to play small and just say, no, I can't make it or I can't go. It's like, no, I'm going to get into the room. So I'm so excited to see. If you've not yet got your ticket yet, be sure to message me, Unstoppable. Go ahead, message me right now if you want more details. Message me, Unstoppable, for details, and I'll send you all the details. It's going to be epic. 2 days in person with me and all the other badasses as well, flying from all around the world. I'm so excited. So be sure to message me to get your ticket, and I cannot wait. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. Have an incredible rest of your day, and we'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye guys.